All right, we're gonna start with our appetizer. It's homemade cheesy chili dip. We got our nice large skillet and some nice meat to brown, sausage, and I'm gonna put it in the pan. But first, I'm gonna turn this on. What's this one? 5. And then I'm gonna Go-Gurt style squeeze this meat. Look at that, just scrumptious. Got our 1 pound of ground sausage, pork sausage, ground pork sausage. I'm gonna chop it up and keep it moving in the pan until it's a nice golden brown. Now that it's nice golden brown, I'm gonna stop cooking it.
All right, and now that we have our ground beef sausage browned and ready to go, we're going to pour ourselves 1 tablespoon of taco seasoning. And then we're going, and it says a heaping tablespoon, so we're gonna go a little bit over, but not too much. And we're gonna take that and dump that in here. And we're gonna mix that in real quick. All right, now that we've got that in there, we're going to take our cayenne, and we're going to get 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne. So we'll take that here. Put a tiny bit in there. And that's a 1/4 teaspoon right there. We'll dump that in, and then just like we did before, mix it in. All right, so next we're going to add a 1/2 cup of salsa. So we're going to take our 4th cup here, fill that up, dump that in, and then another 4th cup, and dump that in. Go ahead and stir that in here. All right, and then next we're going to add a little bit of water here to give it more of a paste consistency. Just a little bit. And finally, we're going to add our beans here, our 14 ounces of beans, black beans. And we're going to stir that in. All right, and now that we have that step done, we're going to move on to the next part.
The cheese sauce portion of the chili cheese dip. I'm going to put two tablespoons of butter into this pan and allow it to melt. And once it's melted, I'm going to stir in some flour, but I'm going to let this bad boy melt first. All right. Now that the butter is thoroughly melted, I'm going to grab me some flour and put in 3 tablespoons. That's 1. And there's a 3rd. Stir this up a little bit and then slowly stream in the milk. Alright, now that the milk is all mixed in, I'm going to add 1 cup of cheese. Yes, shredded cheese. Alright, there we go. And then I'm just going to whisk that in until it's all consistent. Alright, now that that's pretty much all mixed in, I'm going to pour this into the meat and beans. Carefully pour this in.
Alright, now we're going to chop up some green onions that we can sprinkle into here, add a little bit of flavor to it. So we're just going to take it here and just go for it. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to take these here. Take some and just sprinkle them over here. And from there, we're good to go.
Alright, now I'm going to make the chocolate caramel bars. So I'm going to start with 1 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I'm going to start with 1/4 of the cup. I'm going to pack it down in there. Okay, so put that in there. And then That's 1 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And then I'm going to take 1 1/4 cups of... Alright, now I'm going to beat this together in the mixing bowl until it's smooth and creamy. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to add 2 cups of flour to the beaten butter and brown sugar mixture. Alright, just 1 cup. And yes, okay. And then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And 1 teaspoon of salt. Alright, and then I'm going to mix that all in until it's nice and combined.
Alright, now we're going to add our 2 cups of oats into this mix that we have here. So I'm going to go ahead and pour out 1 cup of oats here. A little bit more. And I'll take that cup of oats after pouring a little bit. Oops. And dump that in there. And I'm going to take the rest of our oats here and pour them into another cup. And we're going to take those, dump them right in here also. Alright, and then from there, we're going to turn this back on and mix this together just until it's all combined. Alrighty, and just like that, we've got our mixture all together. Real quick, we're going to grease up our 11x7 pan we have right here. It's just going to take some cooking spray, give it a nice pass, make sure we cover all the edges there, and we're ready to move on to our next step. Alright, now we're going to take about half of our mixture here and just press it down into our pan until we fill up the whole thing here. Alright, and there's about half. I'm just going to work it here into the edges. Alright, and we're ready for our next step. Preheat our oven to bake at 350 degrees. So we're going to start that, and then we're ready to start. Alright, now that our oven is ready, we're going to put these in here. And we're going to leave that in there for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to set a timer right here. Alright.
Alright, now I'm going to make the caramel sauce for these. So I'm going to use 3/4 cup of regular caramel sauce. 1. Okay. 2. I'm going to heat it a little bit because of some of it's going to stick to the inside. And 3. Alright, now I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of flour and mix it up. 1, 2, and those are both a little overfull, so I'm going to not quite fill the third one to the top. There we go. Alright, now I just got to stir it up. That looks good.
So now that our granola has been in our oven at 350 degrees for 10 minutes, get away dogs. We're going to pull it out here, and I'm not going to burn myself.
Dogs, come here.
Yes, please.
And there is our first layer of granola. And now to move on to the next step.
Look how nice. Alright, now that it's out of the oven, looking nice, we're going to put some chocolate chips on here. And I have a 1/4 cup measure, but I'm going to put way more than a 1/4 cup on here. So, let me do the math. Okay, so that's, you're just getting sprinkled on here. And you're supposed to cover it pretty well. So that's 1/2 cup. You're supposed to put a cup and a half. That's 3/4 cup. There's 1 cup. Oh, 1 1/4. And there we go. 1 1/2 cup. This smells fantastic. Oh my goodness. Alright. Okay, now I'm gonna just pour the caramel sauce on top. I guess just go like this. Yeah, that looks nice. Alright, now I got the remainder of the oat stuff. I'm just gonna sprinkle it on top here so that it covers the top of the dessert. Alright, that's done. Alright, now that the top is done, I'm gonna put it back in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. Alright, it's time for our oatmeal bars to come out of the oven. Oh, wait. Safety first. Ooh. Boy, oh boy, does that look delightful.
Alright, so next we're going to make our strawberry spinach salad. And we're going to start off by taking a 1/4 cup of white sugar. Actually, 2 cups to make 1/2 cup. There's our first one right there. And then there's our second. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds. As I dump them everywhere. There's our first tablespoon, sesame. And there's our second tablespoon. And now we're going to add a tablespoon of poppy seeds. And there's that. And then moving on. Alright, and then next we're going to add a 1/4 cup of distilled white vinegar. Dump that right in there. And also a 1/2 cup of olive oil. We are going to pour 2 4/4 cups. And there's our first one. And our second one. Alright, and next we've got to add a little bit of onion, a tablespoon of minced onion. So we're going to start by peeling this onion right here. I'm just going to... Alright, and we have a peeled onion now. Alright, before we mince it, we're going to cut off the ends here. 1 and 2. And then we're going to take just a little bit here, since we only need a tablespoon. And then we're going to dice that up here. And I said we're going to dice it, but we're actually going to mince it, so I'm going to take it here. Alright, and there we go, our minced. Alright, and now that we have our tablespoon of minced onion here, we're going to just drop that in here to our little mixture. And then moving on to the next part. Alrighty, and then next we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. So I'm gonna pop that open. And we're going to pour just a 1/4 teaspoon out and dump that right in there. Alright, let's, our Worcestershire. Now we've got our sauce, and we're going to take it here and get a 1/4 teaspoon of this sauce and pour it into this mixture that we have here. And then from there, we're going to grab our whisk. And then we're going to take our whisk here and just whisk this all together real quick. Alright, and then we're going to cover this and chill it for 1 hour. Alright, I'm going to take that right there.
Alright, now I'm going to rinse the spinach here, so I'm going to toss it in the strainer. And then set it aside. I'm just going to rinse it. Alright, now that it's rinsed, we can move on.
Alright, and for our strawberry spinach salad, obviously we have to have strawberries. So I'm going to start off with rinsing these here. and try to get all of them. All right, and we're ready to go.
All right, so I'm going to tear the spinach into bite-sized pieces, and Owen is just going to slice up the strawberries. All right, now I'm just going to dump our quart of strawberries into the spinach, and then follow those with the so 10 ounces of spinach and a quart of strawberries and 1/4 of a cup of almonds. All right, now we're going to toss it together. All right, I'm going to try to put this back in here. All right, ready for dressing. All right, we're going to start our garlic roasted Parmesan potatoes by cutting all the potatoes in half.
All right, before we can do anything else, we need to preheat our oven to 400 degrees. So we're gonna go ahead here, 400, and we're gonna go ahead and start that. Thumbs up. All right, and then next we're going to lightly oil our pan here. We're gonna use our cooking spray. And make sure that we get all of it. We don't get any sticking there. And we're ready. All right, and then before we can go on, we actually need to wash these potatoes. All right, and we are ready to move on.
All right, now I'm going to peel and mince 5 cloves of garlic. Claws.
Well,
Garlic. Now I'm going to mince it. So I'm going to cut off the little head, and this one's got a weird spot on the side, so I'm going to cut that off too. And cut off the back end. And mince. Alright, now I'm going to layer the potatoes on the baking pan. Alright, well that's done.
Sorry. Before we can actually put these in the oven, we need to add a few things, and we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm just going to add that across these here. And our first tablespoon. Oh, a little bit over there. We're going to add our second tablespoon. Alright, and then next up we're going to add our garlic, which we minced earlier. So slowly add that over. Alright, and then next. Alright, so we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of dried basil. And then we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of dried oregano. Alright, and I'm also going to add a teaspoon of thyme. There's 1/2 there. And then here's the other 1/2. Alright, we're ready to move on. Alright, and then next we're going to add a 1/3 cup of Parmesan. And then we're going to grind some pepper a little bit. And then we're going to take some kosher salt, and we're just going to get some over it here. And we're ready to go. Alright, and then we're going to just toss these together real quick. Make sure that we get a little bit of everything on all these potatoes. Alright, and then we are ready to go. Alright, and now that we're ready, we're going to throw these in the oven at 400 degrees for 30 minutes. Alright, and now that our potatoes are done, we're going to go ahead and open up the oven here and grab these out. Set them off over here. And we'll move on to our last step with those. And now that our garlic potatoes are done, we're gonna go ahead and chop up some parsley here. All right, and we'll take that over here to our potatoes. And then just lightly garnish them with these. And there's our finished product. Alright, so to start off with our main dish, the Asian garlic noodles, I'm going to mince 3 cloves of garlic. So we're going to start right here. Alright, and there we go, our minced 3 cloves of garlic.
I'm going to grate a tablespoon of garlic. I said garlic. This is ginger, not garlic. Alright, that looks like about a tablespoon.
Alright, so I'm going to get our water boiling so we can start making our noodles. So I'm going to turn it here, turn on this cooktop, and we've got some water here. I'm going to set that down, and I'm going to salt that water real quick. And now we wait.
I'm going to start making the sauce for the garlic noodles. So I'm going to start with 1 tablespoon of ginger. Then I'm going to get my 3 cloves of minced garlic. Next is 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce. 1 tablespoon, right? I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. This is a half teaspoon, so I'm going to add 2 of these. There's 1, 2. Alright. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Followed by a tablespoon of sambal ulek. Definitely did not have to look that one up for pronunciation. And last but not least, some nice soy sauce. This is going to be 1/3 of a cup. Alright, and that's done for now.
Good.
Alright, now I'm going to just whisk it all together. Alright, now that that's all mixed together, we can move on to the next step.
Alright, so before we can do anything with these, we need to wash our vegetables. So I'll turn on some water here. And just make sure you get the whole vegetable in there. There's one done. Second one here. And then I'll drop everything. Alright, so we gotta take our zucchini here. And we gotta dice both of them. So we're gonna cut off the ends real quick. And then we'll get to work. And we are ready to move on. It's our bell pepper here, so we're gonna go ahead and split it in half here so we can both work on it. So let's take that right down the middle. And there's that for you. And with that, I'll move. Alright, and now that we've got our water over here boiling, we're going to take our 8 ounces of noodles here, and we're going to drop them in there. Drink all of that there. And we take this here, and make sure that they'll go in there. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and set a timer for about 7 minutes.
Alright, now I'm going to wash these mushrooms. There's 8 ounces of them. Alright. Alright, now I'm going to take these mushrooms and just slice them up. Alright, that's last one.
Alright, now that we're done making our noodles here, we're going to pour them out into a strainer right here so that they can drain.
Get this carrot and then, well, first I'm going to peel it and then I'm going to grate it. All right, so I'm going to just grate it into the bowl here. Figure out what the best way to hold it is.
All right, and moving on. All right, and now we're going to start the final preparations here. So we're going to start. We have this skillet here heating up on medium-low heat, and we are going to add a tablespoon of this olive oil here, right in there. And then we are also going to add our shrimp here, which is 12 ounces. And we're going to drop that right in here. And then we're going to take 2 tablespoons of our sauce here. I'll put a little bit more in since those were both kind of half. All right, and then we're just going to stir this and let them cook until pink. All right, so we're going to take all of our vegetables here, our bell pepper, dump that in there, our carrot, our zucchini, and of course, finally, our mushrooms. Man, that's good. And then we're going to stir all these in here. All right, and then we'll let those cook for a little bit and stir every once in a while until they... All right, and now that we have this done, we're going to put our noodles into it. Oh, that's hot. All right, and then from there, we're going to stir in these noodles. All right, and now that we have those done, we are going to take the rest of our sauce here and just dump that in. And then we'll stir it all together and we'll be ready to go. All right, and now that we have chilled this dressing for an hour, we're going to pour it over our salad here. And the rest. All right, for our food testers, we have the beautiful, handsome, amazing Beth LinegangO, and that is my mom, so she will judge me harshly. And then we have my dad, Andy LinegangO, also beautiful and handsome. And we're gonna start off with our cheesy chili dip.
Yes, sir.
We've got some chips for them to try it out. So what's the overall consensus on the first dish?
It's good.
Very tasty. It's got lots of different things going on with it. It's yummy.
All right, let's move on to the next. All right, next up we have our salad, the strawberry spinach salad. Mom, Dad, I hope you guys enjoyed this one also.
I'm very excited about this one.
It's one of your mom's favorites.
All right, Dad, what do you think?
That's very good. Is that a homemade dressing and everything?
Yes.
So that's as good as stuff I've had in the restaurant. It's
High
very sweet,
praise.
good
Yeah,
flavor
it's
to it.
very fresh and light and sweet and salty. It's really good.
Nice.
Guys
Glad
did a good
to
job
hear
with
it.
it.
All right, are we ready to move on to the next dish?
Sure.
All right, joining us for this one is our surrogate tester, Kate LinegangO, my little sister, dearest to me. She's joining us for the main dish because my mom is allergic to shrimp, so she's gonna have to try the main dish for my mom. Mom, here's your garlic potatoes. That is our side dish. And then our main dish is garlic Asian noodles with some shrimp in there. So go ahead and try at your own
Have a fork.
your own pace there.
There you go.
Potatoes are very good.
Yeah, the potatoes have a very nice flavor, very herb, garlic.
Yeah.
What does Kate think of the noodles? Our noodle expert.
That's good.
Got a little bit of spice to them. That's nice. Good Asian flavor.
I like the potatoes.
He's a really nice vocabulary, Kate.
These have got good spice, and the vegetables are really good.
Yeah, the noodles are kind of spicy.
Thank you, Kate.
It's like,
All right, and let's move on to our dessert.
It's very tasty.
All right, now that we've all finished our meals, we're gonna try the dessert, our chocolate caramel granola bars.
That's delicious. It's like the perfect amount of crunchy and sweet.
It is.
Very good.
Nice.
Kate, what do you think?
I like it.
You can tell by the look in her eyes.
All right.
This is excellent. Very
It's
chocolatey.
really good.
And that concludes our family meal project. Hip hip hooray.
Yes, sir.
Good job, guys.